In this video, we are going to talk about Jupiter in Dhanishtha Nakshatra, Padas, symbolism, Shakti, and more. So keep watching. Namaste and welcome to Vedic Astrology channel. I'm your host Prasad Mahazani. If you want to learn Vedic Astrology step by step, join me on 33 days Vedic Astrology Bootcamp. Link is in the description, or if you are looking for readings and consultation, check out the link below in the description. Jupiter in the nakshatra of Dhanishtha. What is Dhanishtha Nakshatra? Dhanishtha Nakshatra ranges from 23 degrees 20 minutes of Capricorn to the 6 degrees 40 minutes of Aquarius. So this nakshatra ranges from a part of Capricorn to the part of Aquarius. The literal meaning of the word Dhanishtha, Dhan literally means wealth and Ishta is to accomplish or to complete things. Dhana Ishta. Okay, so Dhanishtha nothing but to make yourself wealthy. Dhanishtha Nakshatra has 4 padas: Leo, Virgo, Libra and Scorpio in this range. Okay, we'll talk about that later in this video. Now, let's talk about the Jupiter first. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, is positivity, abundance, higher self, things which are above you, things which are guiding you, your teachers, your spirituality, religious beliefs, and father figures, mentors. All these things can be seen with Jupiter. Jupiter is also about getting money, and in woman's chart it also shows husband. Okay, so yes, this was little bit about the Jupiter. I have made a separate video on Jupiter, its signification. Also, we have a complete dedicated playlist of Jupiter through the houses. Okay, so go and watch that. I might put a link as well. Otherwise, you can simply search Jupiter and Pramanik, you will get that. Now, let us talk about Dhanishtha Nakshatra. Dhanishtha Nakshatra is Dasha ruled by Mars. So, if you have Moon in Dhanishtha Nakshatra, your Dasha sequence, the Nakshatra based Vimshuttari Dasha sequence will start with Mars. And depending upon your Lagna, placement of Mars, the transits of Mars in your chart, the Lordship of Mars, agenda of Mars, the Mars through divisional chart, all those things will give you an idea about what Mars means to you, whether it's a Yoga Karaka, whether it's ruling good houses, bad houses, Dushtana houses, one Dushtana, one good, one bad, whatever may be the combination. You just have to write them down before you can jump to a conclusion. Don't just jump to a conclusion with a single parameter. No matter how profound that parameter is, no matter how profound that signification is, don't jump to the conclusion, because there are so many combinations we might go wrong. So just write them down. If you have Moon in Dhanishtha Nakshatra, your Dasha sequence will start with Mars. Okay. Now, the deity associated with Dhanishtha Nakshatra are the Vasus. Now, the deity associated with the Dhanishtha Nakshatra are the Vasus. There are 8 Vasus, which are Apas, Dhruva, Soma, Dharti, Anila, Anala, Pratyush and Prabhas. Okay, Apas is water, Soma is moon, Pratyush is the time just before the sunrise, Prabhas is like ether or sky, Anil is Vayu, Anala is Agni, and so on. So these are the 8 deities to the single nakshatra. Okay, so this nakshatra is a nakshatra having 8 solar deities connected with it. Okay, now let's talk about what is the symbolism associated with Dhanishtha Nakshatra. Dhanishtha Nakshatra has 2 symbolism. One is the Damru or Mridanga. You will see Lord Shiva will always have a Damru. Okay, and the other one is the flute, and you surprisingly will see that the Lord Krishna has flute. Okay, so Mridanga and flute are the hollow instruments which the person has to put in his efforts in order to play them. So the hollowness which is present in all of us We have to use it, the Dhanishtha Nakshatra uses it to connect with the divine. Okay, we'll talk about, or you can go and watch my Dhanishtha Nakshatra video. I have made a separate dedicated video on Dhanishtha Nakshatra. You can go and watch that video as well. Now, what happens when Jupiter comes into the Dhanishtha Nakshatra? Dhanishtha Nakshatra is Nakshatra of expansion. The planet of expansion comes into the Nakshatra of expansion. So, this is in a way a wealth creating Nakshatra. Okay. Next, the Dhanishtha Nakshatra is also associated with Bhishmacharya in Mahabharata and Yudhishthir to some extent. So, you will observe that the person with the Jupiter in the Dhanishtha Nakshatra, his gurus or his mentors will have some strong spiritual vows, or they have some promises, strong promises in line with their spiritual practices, right? Just like Bhishma. Okay, so if you have any person with this placement, just observe that. Okay, another thing is these people are also connected with healing, not like Ashwini. Ashwini is a hardcore healers, Ashwini Kumars, but these people tend to have the mentors, or the Jupiter is Guru. So most of the things you will relate it with the mentors and gurus. Let's say you have moon in Dhanishtha, so you can apply it to your mother. Okay, also the house ruled by the moon in your chart. You can go in and apply it in different ways, but here the signification of Jupiter is connecting with the energy of Dhanishtha. Dhanishtha Nakshatra has energy which is connected with both Lord Shiva and Krishna. So this is amazing energy. Now this energy is getting the planetary consciousness of Jupiter, the positivity, expansion, money, like finances, all these things can be seen with the Dhanishtha Nakshatra person, the Jupiter in Dhanishtha Nakshatra person. Jupiter in Dhanishtha Nakshatra also shows the need to pursue the worldly or materialistic aims. Okay, these people tend to, in last video, in the Shravan Nakshatra, we talked about Shravan Nakshatra is also a wealth creating Nakshatra. Dhanishtha, the name itself shows the Dhana Ishta, right? So it is about creating wealth. But now, whenever a planet will come into this nakshatra, it will get manifested according to its own colors. It will bring in their own essence, their own significations into this nakshatra, and they play out. Okay, so Jupiter is not comfortable in Dhanishtha. Jupiter doesn't like the aggression of the Dhanishtha. Dhanishtha is about the aggression as well. There will be some competition and aggression because it is ruled by Mars, Dasha ruled by Mars. But more than that, there is story about Indra and how all these deities helped him to gain his power. So Dhanishtha Nakshatra is also about competition and to some extent aggression as well. So Jupiter doesn't like this and feels uncomfortable. Okay, because Jupiter is positive and expansive, optimistic and positive planet. Dhanishtha Nakshatra has 4 padas. So when Jupiter comes into the first pada of the Dhanishtha Nakshatra, it becomes little unsettling energy, because now it has just come out of the exaltation. Okay, it has just come out of the exaltation pada, but it's still into the debilitation sign. Okay, so the sign is Capricorn and the pada is Leo. Okay, the next pada of the Dhanishtha Nakshatra is into the sign of Virgo, which is again not a friend of Jupiter. The third pada of the Dhanishtha Nakshatra is ruled by Venus, which brings in balance in one's life. Okay, so it controls the over expansive nature of Jupiter. So when you have Jupiter placed into the Dhanishtha Nakshatra in the third pada, it somewhat balances the otherwise over optimistic and over expansive nature of Jupiter. Okay, now the fourth pada of Dhanishtha Nakshatra is ruled by Mars, which is a friend of Jupiter. Now the Scorpio sign is highly karmic sign because there are so many deep rooted issues which might surface out during this placement. Okay, let's say you have Jupiter placed into the sign of Scorpio. So now this is the last pada of this nakshatra. Okay, and whenever you go into the Scorpio pada, you will experience the transformation, right? You must have observed that padas are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and it starts all over again from Aries, right? So just observe the Scorpio pada. It is the pada just before the Sagittarius pada, which is about the higher belief, and this is the transformation. Okay, for these three padas from Leo to Libra and Scorpio, the person will be, manifesting his material aims. Okay, but at the end he is aiming for the dharma, and Jupiter feels comfortable with his dharma or the pursuit of dharma. Okay, so yes, this was Jupiter through the nakshatra of Dhanishtha, as much as I could hold, grasp and share with you guys. If you want to know more about Dhanishtha or Jupiter or placements or all these things, watch these two videos on my screen and you will be on your way to understand these planets and nakshatra. Or if you want to learn Vedic astrology step by step, join me on 33 days Vedic astrology bootcamp, sending you tons of positive energy, sending you high vibrations. See you in the next videos. Love and peace. Namaste.